like a minute?
Good morning. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we have a busy and exciting chapel this morning, so we'll turn it right over to Nathan for announcements.
Good morning. Today is Thursday, September 8th, and it's a white day. A reminder that tomorrow is a Pep Chapel Schedule day. Please report directly to your advisory locations before 8 a.m. Tomorrow will also be a green and white variety day. As long as you are wearing green and/or white or SJA gear, you may be in Variety Day attire. There is no cost for tomorrow's green and white variety day. We just ask you to show up to show your school spirit. Please note that jeans with rips or holes, leggings, and yoga pants are not allowed on variety days. Mr. Despin's B and C Block Sports Medicine 1 classes will meet in the athletic training room for class today. The last day to sign up for the October 12th PSAT or SAT is tomorrow. Please see Ms. Carr in the guidance office with any questions. Today is the day. All National Honor Society members should report to the South Church Sanctuary during conference period for our first full chapter meeting of the year. Attendance at this meeting is mandatory. See Mrs. Reed in guidance if you have questions or concerns. Tomorrow's the day to get registered to vote. The League of Women Voters will be in the Streeter Dining Hall during C Block tomorrow to sign up anyone who is 18 or above to vote in the November election. The League of Women Voters simply support the right to vote and want to help you register. If interested, please look for the posters around campus with what you will need to provide or stop by the headmaster's office with any questions. Calling all college-bound Hilltoppers, the following college has a virtual visit today. The New School at 11 a.m. in the Colby Conference Room. Be sure to sign up for their visits on Naviance and to view all details. If you are scheduled to be in class during the time of the visit, please check in with your teacher before coming. You are also required to return to class after the completion of the visit as attendance is turned into the main office. Those planning on joining the outing club for this Sunday's climbing trip must drop off your permission slips no later than the end of the day, Friday, September 9th. On Friday, right after school, at 3:30 in the Alumni Gym, we will have a mandatory meeting to go over the specifics of the trip and the mandatory gear that you must bring for the trip on Sunday. Are you worrying about a to-do list that is growing longer and longer? Are you wondering how to manage stress this semester? Are you feeling like you want to be more compassionate to yourself and to others, but you don't know how to actually begin? If you answered yes to any of these questions, please come to Newell Hall 10 after conference period today. The Academy's Breathing Room will be hosting an Introduction to Mindfulness training course this afternoon at 3:30. Come learn how to connect with your inner calm. See Ms. Greenstone or Mrs. Woods with any questions. Today's the day. Let's crank the tunes and pump out some great food at the South Church Kitchen after school. It's where the cool kids hang. Knitting Club will be held this afternoon from 3:45 to 4:45 in Severance 16. Bring a project or come to learn. The first robotics team will meet today, Thursday, right after school from 3:30 p.m. till 4:30 p.m. in Streeter 230. All are welcome. No prior knowledge is necessary. If you have any questions, please stop by and chat with Mr. Hubax. Happy birthday today to Hunter Plant, Julian Chamberlain, and Addison Heath. Happy birthday. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Nathan. And now we'll have Chef B come up on stage to reprise a tradition we've missed for the last couple of years. Chef B.
Good morning. A number of years ago, one of our former culinary arts instructors started a tradition where once a month he awarded advisory munchies for a number of advisories. When he was getting ready to leave, I promised him that I would carry on this tradition, so here we are with the help of the Lenzini team. We're going to announce the winners for this month. Tomorrow morning I'll be delivering the boxes of advisor munchies before advisory. Nice. For the seniors.
Eaton Dembski.
For the juniors,
I dropped it.
oh, you don't get it. I'm sorry.
Morris.
Yay. That's all we get? Oh my. That was not good. That wasn't good. And for the sophomores,
D. Bosco.
so we'll be doing this again each month until we graduate in May. Have a great day, everybody.
Just one late announcement that I'll mention now. Please note, when you're in the dining hall or whether you're eating outside, it's important that you pick up after yourselves. The Aladdin team has mentioned that they've been picking up at least 20 place settings per most lunches, and that's far too many. So again, a reminder, as a community, we pick up after ourselves. It's part of being in our community, taking responsibility for what we do. So thanks for your attention to that. And now it's my real pleasure to have Mr. Rain come up. Again, we just mentioned we've reprised a tradition with Chef B, but we're excited to have Mr. Rain come up for this announcement. Mr. Rain.
Good morning, St. Johnsbury Academy. It's exciting to be up here after a long time, and also since I'm a freshman advisor, I don't get to be in the big house very often. So, in February of 2020, the Academy had 2 groups of students abroad in Italy. And I'm sure you folks all remember all too well what was happening at that time. So, we had not gone into lockdown yet, but the pandemic was spreading. It was spreading rapidly, and one of the main places where it was hitting hard was precisely Italy. And so we had to make the very tough decision to recall those 2 trips to get out of harm's way. And one of those trips had only been there for just a couple days. A real shame. Since then, the Academy has not had a single trip abroad. Well, this year that is finally going to change. So today what we're going to do is share with you the trips that are being offered this year. We hope that you're excited about this. We hope that you will come out and learn more about these trips. And for those of you who know there's just no way I could possibly go this year, I hope that you'll think about future years when maybe you could save your pennies if you're making this a priority and make it happen. And for those of you who think there's absolutely no way I could ever possibly afford this, there are a couple scholarships that I will announce at the end of this. So with no further ado, let's get to our various trip leaders. We're going to talk first about February 2023, and is Mrs. Loader in the house? Oh, she's out sick. Okay, all right. I did just see an email with a text, and I thought she was sending that for her own guide. So our first trip is of the 2023 will be sent to Italy again. Hopefully, no bad problems. This is basically a trip for artists. You do not have to be in any particular class to go on this trip, but we have sent students for years to Florence, Italy. You can see here the trip is going to cost around $3,300. So yes, you're going to be able to eat great food, and indeed, there's going to actually be a culinary component to this trip. So if you're interested in great Italian food, this might be something that you'd be very interested in. Every year, our students work in a studio called Il Bisonte, which means the buffalo, and there they do intaglio art, which is using a printing press, which many of our students are familiar with because we offer that here as a class. And so it's a class, or it's a trip that really puts students into an artistic city, a city of culture and history, and amazing artworks such as from the greats like Michelangelo and Raphael and others, and you get to make art there. One of their destinations that they want to go to is Civita di Bagnoregio. My Italian is great. You can see an exotic place, I believe, with a monastery there. So that's going to be one of their destinations. And there will be an organizational meeting on September 14th in Morse at 3:30. There will be other announcements with regards to these informational meetings. So you don't have to memorize these right now. Okay, and I transition now to our next trip offerings in April of 2023. Okay, Mrs. Gary?
Good morning. I'm Miss Gary, and I am excited to be able to offer again our trip to India. So this is a 2-week service trip in India where we work with some local creches, which are preschools. This is a service trip, so it is a working trip with a little bit of sightseeing put in there. This is a trip that has come out of a capstone in 2010. 2 students decided they would partner with a nonprofit organization here in Vermont that supports schools in India, and this was their capstone. So we've been traveling every other year. We've had the opportunity to go to India and work with these students. So there's a lot of things that we do there to help out these children. This is a village of the lowest caste. They have a caste system in India, the lowest kids. They don't go to school, usually because their parents are at work, so they stay home with their older siblings who also don't go to school. So having a preschool offers the opportunity for their parents to find work, their older siblings to get educated, and for them to be educated as well. We will have an informational meeting in the Tinker House on September 21st at 3:45 if you're interested in traveling to India. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm personally delighted to hit the reset button on a long tradition here at St. Johnsbury Academy, one that began in 1993 and has had more than 200 individual participants in the program, in the trip to Japan. Trip to Japan it's free. Now, there's a catch. There's always a catch, right? You have to be enrolled in the Japanese language program to draw this trip, to be an applicant for this trip. The change that the pandemic has brought along, though, is that because we've missed the last 3 years of this trip, we're inviting all students who are members in good standing in the Japanese language program over those last 3 years, even if you're not enrolled in Japanese right now, to join the trip. So I encourage all those students over the last 3 years to apply, as well as current students, and we will be traveling to all those fun places, seeing all those great sights, and using our Japanese language skills that we've learned in our classrooms here in St. J. More details on Tuesday, next Tuesday in Newell Hall 24 at 3:30. Hope to see you there. Thank you.
Good morning. All right, so what? Yeah, it's pretty. It's nice, right? I guess I chose the right picture to start with. So in April, we're planning a kind of an adventurous trip. It's for those who want to get outside, be outside, do some things that might not be so easy, but are definitely exciting and fun. And we want to do it in Iceland. So let's take a look at what we'll be doing. No, we won't. Sorry about that. We won't see those guys because we're actually going in the spring. We're not going in winter, so don't worry about that. Some of the highlights of this trip that we want to touch on are hot water. We want to be in hot water, and this is a good spot for it. This is actually a thermal river, so you can do like a lazy river thing in steaming water. So I thought that sounded cool. Another thing is seeing some really cool sites. We're not going to do a whirlwind tour of Iceland in every site that it has. So what we're looking at is, after we swim in a lazy river, is hanging out in one region of Iceland, and that's a place called the Snæfellsnes Peninsula. And you get to see this thing that's called Kirkjufell. We'll stay in a little fishing village. There's a once-a-year whale watch out of this village, and it's only like February to April, or February to May kind of thing. And so there's orcas. Those are fin whales for those sharp-eyed whale fans out there. You might have known that. This one you might recognize. Anybody? No? There you go. Nice. Sometimes even these guys. Anybody know what this one is? Yeah, that's a sperm whale. And even more rarely, but not impossibly, sometimes even the biggest one, the blue whale. We'll get some bikes, and we'll do some muddy riding. So if you like riding gravel bikes in April in Vermont, you're going to love this. It's going to be great. Muddy, cold, wet. Sounds awesome, right? This is actually the house we're looking at to stay in when we're in this spot right on the coast. And when we're not doing that, if we get lucky, we can see some northern lights. So and you can dance like that if you feel like it. It's up to you. So the cost, we're still working on the cost, but it's going to be somewhere between $2,700 and $3,200 US. I don't know how many krona that is. It's a lot, but and we're going to have a meeting on Tuesday, September 13th, in my classroom, Colby 209, at right after CP, so right around 3:30. That's this coming Tuesday, the 13th, I think is, right? Yeah, cool, thanks.
And the offerings keep coming. Summer of this coming summer. Freiburg, Germany. So you may not be aware of it, but we do have a partner school. It is in Freiburg, Germany. And for the last couple of years, before the pandemic, I've been taking students there for what we call a proper exchange. So you can see Freiburg is down in the far southwestern corner of Germany. It is a beautiful historic city. Yes, largely damaged during World War II, but rebuilt beautifully. Still with a great cathedral in the center of the town. The highlights of this program is that it's a 4-week program in Freiburg, and actually we usually tack on another week in the beginning where we spend about 5 days in Berlin. We actually attend classes at a German high school. We kind of set up our own program, of course, because we're not fluent German speakers, but we do learn some German while we're there. Our students live with a host family, and that helps keep the costs of this program down. Those students that live with a host family, that child from that host family, that son or daughter, will then come back and stay with your family here in St. J. So it's a true exchange. So this is a really cool opportunity to spend some time in Germany, to learn about that language and culture, and to really get to know people well in a family setting. So we'll have a meeting next Wednesday. That'll be at 3:30 in the Colwell Center. There will be announcements about that coming up. And one more program to share with you. Oops. Oh, that's in Berlin. Holocaust Monument. Going down a mountainside on a little Achterbahn, and good times. Okay, Lake Tahoe.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mr. Holden.
I'm Mr. Lejean.
And I'm Ms. Dickinson. So I want you to kind of think about heading out to the Lake Tahoe area in June. And maybe we're going to start our day on a deck like this, or maybe a deck like that. And you're kind of going to get some coffee or tea and your book, and you're going to relax, and you're going to get ready for the adventure. Because maybe we're going mountain biking that day, or maybe you're taking an e-bike tour along a river trail. Then we have to cool off in the water because it is hot. And we can lounge on the beach, have fun there. And then we're going to go back to those really cool decks, and we're going to learn how to make some healthy meals and eat together in a family setting and contemplate what we're doing the next day, which could be hiking or kayaking or paddleboarding. So the three of us are hoping to take a group of you to the Lake Tahoe area if you enjoy outdoor recreation and wellness and relaxation. This is the trip for you. Anything that I'm missing?
No, that's it.
Yeah, so the informational meeting will be Wednesday, September 14th in the library media room that's upstairs at 3:30, and be ready for an adventure.
So I promised that there'd be some opportunities for scholarships. We have a generous benefactor who this year is going to be making it possible for 3 students to go cost-free on one of these trips. These scholarships are not for just anybody, right? You need to be somebody who really cannot afford these programs. Okay? So if that's you, and if you're passionate about this and you really want in, there is an application process. We'll be getting that set up soon, so please listen to the announcements for those opportunities. We want to help make these trips possible for as many people as possible. So if you have any questions, you can see the trip leaders. You can come see me in the Colwell Center in the basement of the library with any questions, and we hope to be hearing from many of you soon. Thank you.
Amazing opportunities for you, and as Mr. Rain said, I hope you'll consider taking an international trip, and if it's not this year, perhaps something to plan for in the future. And I can tell you that in 2012, I led a trip with Ms. Drew, Mr. Robillard, and Ms. Scavito, and I still hear from the students who attended and were part of that trip to 28, and many of them write or just stop by and say, wow, what an incredible experience. So again, hope you consider that. One final reminder before we dismiss this morning, again, tomorrow is Pep Chapel Schedule. And so again, you'll report at 8 a.m. directly to your advisory location. It is a variety day. So with that, we ask that you bring $1. I don't believe Dr. Howell said that yesterday, but $1 to be in variety day clothing for bottoms. Actually, I'm going to change that. We're not going to charge you $1. Come for free. But do wear your green and white or your gear to school tomorrow. Okay, with that, faculty. Thanks. Seniors. Juniors.